Alright, if you ever need to add a user to WordPress manually, that is through phpMyAdmin, this is how you would do it. So why not make a user inside the WordPress administration? Well, because you've probably messed something up. So I'll go over some reasons you might need to use the phpMyAdmin method at the end of the video. But right now I'm using zorkboy.com as the .com we'll practice on, and I just installed WordPress on it. So the first thing you have to do is log into your hosting, whether it be WAMP or your live server. I use site5.com and I'm logged in to the zorkboy.com account. And the first thing you have to do is launch phpMyAdmin and select your WordPress database. If you don't know what your WordPress database is, you can check out the wp-config file. Let's take a look at the file structure so I can explain that. Inside the WordPress installation, you'll see wp-config. That file contains all of your really important database information. And here's what it looks like. It's self-explanatory too. Your DB name, that's the name of the database. Your username for it, there it is. And the password for it also. Everything else should be self-explanatory. The very first thing we need to do is check out WP users. We're only going to work with two tables here, but the first one is we'll add the user. Alright, right now I have the default user, which is an administrator, and in order to add a new one, we'll click Insert. Alright, don't be intimidated by the fields here. I'll go over each one. The ID gets assigned later. The login. This is your username, so we could just do the password. We need to change this to MD5 because that's the encryption that this field will get because it's a password, right? Makes sense. So we'll do password. The nice name is just the WordPress name that that WordPress refers to you as. So that's fine to be the same as the username. The email, let's just use anything. The URL is obviously the URL that the user wants to promote on his signature. The date, just choose any date. Activation key, leave it blank. The status, the same deal, gets changed automatically later by WordPress. And your display name, and use whatever your nice name is probably. Scroll to the bottom, press go. Alright, it looks like everything's good, no errors. If there's errors, just go back and double check everything. Read the description with the information to double check it. Alright, so there it is, it's created. Now take note of the ID. We're going to need to reference that. It's number 2, so not really hard to remember. But we'll go to user meta to add permissions to that user. And we'll do insert. Alright, so this we leave blank. WordPress will fill it in later. The user ID, if you remember, was number 2. The meta key, now this is important, needs to be WP capabilities. And the meta value is very important to be this. You can copy and paste that from the description. This stays empty. This goes to number 2 because it's the user ID again. The meta key gets this is very specific. It'll be in the description. WP_user_level. And then the value will be the number 10. Now if we create this, there we go. Now we've defined permissions for that user we created. Now we can actually log in as that user. There we go. That user is manually created through phpMyAdmin. Now, what are some reasons you might need to have used the phpMyAdmin method instead of just creating a user in the administration? Well, if we take a look at the users, and if I were to delete the administrator, and then I can't delete that from here, but I can from phpMyAdmin. So go to users, and let's say that I delete this from the database manually. Oops. Now what? So now if I go to go back to the dashboard, I'm going to get an error. See, I'm logged out, and the username won't work. The administrator is locked out. Or the famous "you do not have sufficient permission to access this page" error that might be attributed to you messing up something with the administration or your user credentials.